Hello, this is the 225 Q&A practice, and a plaintiff will be questioning. Ready? Your backyard was how big from the back wall of your house, from the back wall of your house to the back? What's the width? The width or the depth? The depth, I'm sorry. The depth, well, I can't tell you for sure, but I would say about 80 feet. Is that your best estimate, 80 feet, based upon your 8 years of living there? Well, I mean, if you'd like me to think about it for a second, I had from my back of my house, I had about 16 feet of yard. I had a swimming pool, which was about 30 feet in length. That was the long ways. Then there's another 5 feet plus 4 feet of decking, then about another 15 feet to the back wall. That's my best. So about 76 feet or 80. I guess that would be real close. Yeah, that's pretty good. And there was what, like a walkway, or from the back of your house to the front of the house between the wall, 4 feet in width, and about how long on the sides on the left? Well, it's not, it's dirt. It's dirt between the house and the wall. You mean in depth, how long? Yes, how long was that? It would be the full width of the house. I would figure about 25 feet. Daniel's incident with the left side wall occurred in that 25-foot area? Yes, it did. So when you ran through your house, you had to run back towards the front once you got across the backyard? Yes, I went out my back door, made an immediate left off of my back porch, made an immediate left on the left side of my house, and then, yeah, it was towards the front of the house, more in that area. Was there a chain link fence there? No, there's not. No chain link fence at that location. On the opposite side of the house there is, yes. On my driveway side, which would be the right side of my home, I have a long driveway and I have chain link gates there. On the left side of the house, where the left side of the wall was, that's the space between the wall and the house. How was that? There's a blockaded, or there's a wooden fence, and then it had like decorative wood slats on the front side of it to make it look nice. Do you know where your son Stephen was at this time when your niece Belinda told you, and you ran through the house? Where was he after I ran outside? For the record, can we have a continuing objection to all of the statements the children made to him? For the record, I want an objection on the record. I just asked him where his son Stephen was at the time he ran through the house. Then we'll object to it as hearsay. I really don't know. My mind was on seeing the child. When Belinda told you that, what did she tell you? That she had fallen? Objection, hearsay. You want to make a continuing objection, counsel? Then we don't have to. No, just make your objection. I could hear my dogs barking, for one thing. And so I knew something was going on there. And then I don't know if she had fallen or said somebody was hurt. I didn't know what had happened. I don't know the word she used. And when you went out to your house and looked in the area on the left, that 4 feet by 25-foot area, you observed Daniel? Yes, I did. And at that time, what was Daniel doing? He was just crawling towards me. Did he say anything to you? Objection, hearsay. I don't believe he said anything. I could see by the look on his face, and I could see that he was crying, that he was hurt some way. Did you ever ask him what happened at any time? Objection, hearsay. Yes, I did. Him asking the question is hearsay, counsel? You're asking him a leading question there, so he may pop up with what was said, so I am objecting ahead of time. How long after did you ask him? Again, objection, hearsay. Do I still? Go ahead. Do I answer the question? Only until Ms. Powell tells you not to answer. Okay, what was the question again? How long after did you ask Daniel what happened? From the moment you first observed him, how much time passed before you asked him what happened? 1 second. Did he respond to your question? Objection, hearsay. I believe he said, yes, he fell, to the best of my knowledge. Did you ask your son Stephen Jr. what happened? Objection, hearsay. Yes, I did. And did he tell you what he observed? Objection, hearsay. Yes, he did. What did he tell you? Objection, hearsay. He said that Daniel had fallen off the wall. Do you know how Daniel got up on the wall? Objection, hearsay. Do you have any information as to how he got up on the wall? Can we get a little bit more information as to what somebody told him? Information? Yes. Do you have any information? From what my son told me, yes. What did your son tell you? Objection, hearsay. He said that Daniel had climbed up there. Did he tell you where he climbed up from? What the location was? Objection, hearsay. Yes, he did. Where did he tell you he climbed up from? He stood on the 3.5-foot part and then climbed up over into, scaling the wall between my house and the house to the left of me. The top of the wall on the 6-foot section, was it finished in the sense that it had some sort of decorative block or brick on top of it? The 6-foot portion or the 3.5-foot portion? 6-foot portion. On top of it now, you're saying? Correct. No, it doesn't. The 3.5-foot section had red bricks on top for decoration. At the front of the house, where the 3.5-foot section meets the 6-foot section, is there also an extension portion at the location to make it 2 feet higher or a foot higher on the very corner? Correct, the very end. I'm not sure if it comes all the way that far. You indicated earlier that on the sides, you could increase the height of the wall. Is that correct? That's what the extra uprights are for, to my belief, yes. And so approximately every 9 feet, or 8 feet, there is some sort of block or brick extension, correct. And where on the left side wall, it ended at the front of your house, was there that block or brick extension? That's what I'm not sure about. I don't know if it comes all the way to the front fence or not. It seems like it does, but I'm really unsure because I think on the other side it does. So I think it does there too, naturally. Did you ever ask Daniel what made him fall? Objection, hearsay. What made him fall? No. Did he ever tell you what made him fall? Objection, hearsay. He just said that he fell. Did you ever look at the wall at or about the location where he fell after he fell? After he fell, yes. Objection, hearsay, relying on hearsay evidence as relating to where the fall took place. And when you looked at the wall afterwards, what did you observe? That the extra upright, which I believe to have been there, was laying on the ground between my house and the wall. This extra upright was, what was that constructed out of? The same cinder block as the wall itself. And the extra upright was affixed to the wall as far as you know? Yeah, I'm pretty sure the wall was affixed all the way around, I believe, because that's how the home was when I got it. It had the uprights there. It just looked like it was left for someone to put something in between the 8-foot span. This extra upright, this additional block, what was the width of around it? It would be the same as the one of the cinder blocks on the wall, which would again be about 12 inches wide by 6 to 8 inches tall. And what was the height? How many blocks? 2 or 3? And it was just the single, strike that. It would be 12 inches wide and about 2 or 3 blocks high, correct. And it wasn't like 2 blocks. Well, also with the finger thickness in between each brick, the mortar, right, and the placement of those extension blocks. Do you know if that was done in the middle of 2 blocks where 2 blocks came together, or was it stacked right on top of another block? I'm unsure. I think a picture would probably tell you that better than I'm not sure. Was there ever any pictures taken of the location, as far as the location as you have come to understand it, where Daniel fell from after the accident? Yes. And then were those photographs taken? The exact time I can't tell you, but I believe it was. I believe it was an associate of my insurance company. Several months later? Yes. I'll be right back. Let's take a recess. Back on the record. Mr. Gailey, I'm going to mark collectively as plaintiffs 1 to your deposition 2 laser copies of photographs that Ms. Powell has produced for me. And do you recognize what's pictured in these 2 laser photographs? Yes, I do. What is pictured? My home. I can see my neighbor's home and a car parked out in front. As you're looking at the bottom photograph to the left, is that the 3.5-foot section of the wall? Yes, it is. I'm going to mark as plaintiffs 2 a single laser photocopy of a photograph. Now, do you know what that photograph depicts or pictures? Right where the arrow is there? I didn't draw the arrow, but that's the way it came. Yes, I can see a part of my ATC motorcycle, which is to the right of the wall, and that would tell me that this is the 6-foot high wall to the left side of my property. It would be located right there. Okay, I'm going to mark collectively as plaintiffs 3 to your deposition 2 more laser photocopies of 2 photographs. Now, the top photograph shows, what is that? What? The end of the wall at the end of your house? Yes, it shows the 3.5-foot wall on the left side of my home where it adjoins to the 6-foot block wall. And then it shows the fence between my house and the wall. And it shows the fence between that wall and my neighbor's home. Bottom photograph depicts what on plaintiffs 3? 3 of the cinder blocks. Looks like one of the uprights. The uprights were how thick? Looks like 4 to 6 inches. Okay. Are you talking the thickness this way of the wall? Do you recall whether or not this upright that's depicted here in the bottom photocopy of plaintiffs 3 to your deposition, whether or not these uprights were as thick as the wall? Yes, just as thick as the wall, yes. Is that a bolt sticking out of that one? Yes, it is. All right. So we're almost done here. I will switch transcripts and read just maybe about one more minute. All right. It's about one more minute. All right. Here we go. Would you state your full name, please? Judy Ann Rams. And are you married at the present time? Yes. And what is your husband's name? His name is Nicholas Rams. Okay. And where do you reside at the present time? 9684 Kismul in Yucca Valley. And how long have you lived at that address approximately? About 6 months. I'm sorry, 10 months. And approximately how long have you been married to Nicholas? 9 years. What is his occupation? General contractor. Are you employed outside of the home at the present time? No, I'm not. Have you been employed outside of the home since the date of this accident we are concerned with here today, which was November the 13th, 2012? 2012. No, I have not. You were employed at that time, I believe, were you not, by the telephone company? No, by Southern California Edison. I'm sorry, Southern California Edison. What is your present age? 41. And as I recall, you were born in the state of Pennsylvania? Yes. How long had you resided in California? 38 years. And for most of the time that you have resided in California, has that been in the Yucca? 5 years, about 5 years. What part of California did you live in prior to coming to Yucca Valley? Palm Desert. Have you resided in Southern California for at least 20 of that 38 years? Yes, I was raised in Hollywood and moved to Palm Desert. Are there any other children arising out of your marriage to Mr. Ramos or Mr. Rams? No. What is your maiden name? Naft, N-A-F-T. And prior to being married to Mr. Rams, was there any other marriage? Yes, I was married to William Brock, B-R-O-C-K. And how did that marriage terminate? Divorce. Approximately when? 2003. Do you know where Mr. Brock resides at the present time? Somewhere in Texas. Was the divorce in Texas? Pardon me, was the divorce in Texas? No, it was here. Were there any other children arising out of that marriage? 3. Do you have custody of those children? Yes. How old are they? My oldest is 21, 18, 17. Are they all residing with you at the present time? No, my oldest isn't, and I have a 10-year-old too. Is that from your marriage to Mr. Brock? No, that's from my husband's marriage. I see. What is the highest grade you attained in school? I graduated from college with an AA. And did you have any major field? Law enforcement. Have you ever been employed in law enforcement? I worked for the Indio Police Department for a while. How long were you with them? About a year and a half. And excuse me? I'm sorry, I worked for the marshal's office too. In Indio? No, it was in Palm Springs, but it was the county of Riverside. Is that as a courtroom marshal or service marshal? The thing was titled Deputy Marshal Clerk, and it was a clerk too. We were sworn in as a marshal. When you were with the Indio Police Department, what were your duties there? Communications operator. All right, so that concludes our Q&A practice for the 225 class.